Hello, I'm Regina from Atlanta,
And I'm Kerry from Oregon.
and we are Wine Sisters of the Vine.
Yes, we are, my sister. So good
Season 2. Yay! Cheers!
to you.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
And here's for change and diversity and inclusion.
Diversity and inclusion, that's what we're all about. And wine.
That's right. That's right. A
Yeah,
diversity discussion plus wine equals,
plus wine.
right, Wine Sisters of the Vine. There you
Yes, 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 yes. So
go.
how are you doing, my sister?
You know, I am really good anytime I'm, of course, talking to you and we're having these fun discussions. And I've been vaccinated because I'm a caregiver for my father. And as usual, you have had a similar experience in your life.
Yes, my dad is 82 years old. Will be 83 in August, and I am his
Show us the Band-Aid.
caregiver.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yay! I'm so excited because he was able to get his vaccination, his second one today. And I'm just really excited about that because he had taken his first one in the beginning of February and he couldn't get the second one. And I was like, he's got to get it. So
Oh
we were able to get it together.
no! And what a relief.
What a relief. Like, whew.
I know. And what a challenge. And here's to all those people who are still trying to get it. Keep going. Don't give up.
Yes, do not give up.
It's
Do
really a
not give up.
challenge. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
out.
So
So
we have a great episode coming up today, right?
we do. We do. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Let's get going on the fun.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Today's episode is Black-owned wine brands.
Yeah.
And we're going to explore that right here. So there's us. Who's that?
Who is that? That's the Wine Sisters of the Vine. Cheers to that.
It is. And here we are. Okay. So there we go. We're going to lead with this, our right to vote that we will never take for granted.
No. And this past Sunday was Bloody Sunday, and we always take that as a moment to pause and remember those people who crossed that bridge many, many moons ago, who were beaten and bruised and battered for the right to vote. John Lewis was a part of that, and I think it owes some time to pause and thank them because it was not just Black people, it was all people. And it was a day that will live in the hearts of many for forever. So we want to just take a pause to remember that day and remember what the fight was for. And so these people who were battered and bruised and beaten for the right to vote, my personal right to vote. So I will never take that, for granted, and I will always cast my vote as long as I have breath in my body. I will always take the opportunity to cast that vote because so many who, again, were beaten as a result, just for me to have a right to vote. I wasn't even born, but they were fighting for me as a woman now of color to have the right to vote. And I do not take that lightly.
No. And what a yes, and something that we should always remember how much people fought, and women and people of color fought to really retain that right to vote. I'm talking from Oregon, from the land of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who was the original suffragette to get the vote.
Absolutely.
So this is it's a profound thing and something that we should all be aware of. To not take for granted or to take lightly. It's a privilege.
It is a privilege.
And now we're also going to celebrate diversity in the wine industry that is growing as well. And starting out with Brown Estate House of Brown Chardonnay.
Yes, this is one of my favorite Chardonnays in the whole wide world. It is a beautiful mix of golden delicious apple, a correct balance of oak, butter, and all the nuttiness that comes with Chardonnay. And Brown being one of the, was actually the first Black-owned estate winery in Napa Valley.
I had no,
So I'm just gonna pause to let that marinate. And they have absolutely recreated what it means to be a wine vineyard in Napa. The label itself gives you a hint of what inclusivity and diversity means. So if you look at the label, it's so beautiful. It's just a culmination of so many people and so many faces and so many complexions and so many everything. I just
yes,
love House of Brown
yes.
Chardonnay, and it is making a statement in more ways than one. The taste is fantastic, and then also the label is phenomenal.
Well, that's right. And um, together, it's a powerful package.
It is. It
So
is. It really is. And they have multiple wines that are just fantastic. Their cab is fantastic. I mean, they have a portfolio that is to be reckoned with. I personally sell the House of Brown Chardonnay in my shop, and it's one of the best sellers because it is not only is it a fantastic Chardonnay, it is it makes a statement to see it on the shelf because it's a culmination of all of us and it's all inclusive and it shows the diversity. And so I just love just featuring that on my shelves.
well, and I just that label and their story. I think it's just really charming, and I think we might need to even visit there someday, don't you?
I definitely want to. That's one of my bucket lists to visit Brown Estate
That's right.
Vineyards.
What they are trailblazers and deserve a cheer.
Trailblazers. I mean, it's just amazing to think that they had the tenacity to forge ahead in 1996 to become the first Black-owned um, winery in Napa. That's huge,
Yeah, totally huge.
totally huge.
All right. Well, here's to that, and here's to more coming out of the Brown Estate, House of Brown. We will
House
look
of
forward
Brown.
to next.
Cheers to House of Brown.
Cheers,
Yes.
House of Brown. So now we have a little bit of discovery because I got inspired to look around in Oregon, and I discovered that there are 4 Black-owned wineries
Mhm.
by people in the Oregon area. And I also did some research right here with the Association of African American Vintners. And it says that less than 1% of winemakers in the US are Black. However, increasingly, diners are asking for wines made by winemakers of color in their favorite restaurants.
Mhm.
So I love that. I just love that people are really celebrating diversity and looking for it on wherever they can find it. And
Absolutely.
I was so proud that Oregon had 4 Black-owned wineries, starting here with
Mhm.
Stoney Wines right here. This is Donna Stoney. And can you see the screen, Regina?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay.
We love technical difficulties.
Well, little,
We embrace them.
okay. Well, here it comes.
I
There it
see
is.
it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay. So we have right here Donna Stoney, and she is the founder of Stoney Wines.
Mhm.
It's from Portland, and she makes 4 different wines: Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, and Rosé in Dallas, which is this charming little town, kind of at about 30 miles away from where I am here in the Dundee Hills. But she has a wine club, and she has a number of tiers in the wine club and a small staff devoted to who she is, and she is just getting it done. She
She
was a
is getting
social
it done.
worker, and now she's a winemaker.
That is so fantastic because all of us, is surprisingly come from other backgrounds. Uh,
Yeah. I'm losing you. You're gonna come back though. Gina. You're back.
Was that gone?
Yeah, we just had a little technical difficulty.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying about Donna Stoney.
No, I was just saying that the fact that she was a social worker who came to wine. I was in finance and I came to wine, and it just amazes me the stories that how we got from where we were to being wine professionals here.
Yeah, it's that story is, I think, what we're dwelling with here,
Mhm.
too, is how we all ended up in this industry, and that makes some pretty interesting stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So,
who else is going on? What's that? What else is going on?
well, this is Eunice Goldstein, and right here, this number one right here, and number two right here, and she's actually making wine in Astoria and Los Angeles, where she is a director and an actor and a writer.
Wow.
So I think that's another visit we need to take too.
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely going to some of these wineries because we think that they are fantastic and we want to make sure that people kind of get a feel for what's going on there. I think it's fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah, there's her winery right there.
Cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's
So
so
she's
cool.
Oregon's first Black female winery owner and winemaker.
Look at her in those sunflowers.
So she's going from Astoria, which is way in the northern part of Oregon, the most northern part, and one of the oldest. I know, isn't that cool? And
That's cool.
back and forth between LA and
Wow.
Astoria. So yeah, another one that people definitely need to explore.
So who else do we have?
Well, we have Abbey Creek Vineyard right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Brittany Foston. And I think you'll recognize this when we start talking about this. Brittany Foston owns, obviously, Abbey Creek Vineyard. Right
Mm. That's so fantastic. That's so pretty.
Yeah, and he also is a trailblazer because he made the documentary called Red, White, and Blue. Well, excuse me, Red, White, and Black. And it
Wow.
was the award-winning documentary Red, White, and Black. It was amazing. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen
I
this?
have not. I have not. I have got to get this and see it.
Yeah. So that's there's a little subcontext right there, and you can see it. And he's on Vimeo, and everybody else can see it here on abbeycreekvineyard.com.
Cool.
Yep, and more on that later because we're going to have another winemaker that we're going to talk about from Rocco, who was also in this Red, White, and Blue, Red, White, and Black documentary.
Wow.
I know. So that's Brittany Foston. And then, of course, we have Andre Mack.
Of course, we have Andre Mack. Like, he is the guy. He's such a cool guy. I can remember going to Oregon. I stayed at the Allison Inn and Suites, and I wanted to meet him. And so I told the concierge that I wanted to meet him and
Tradition.
and he actually called me like on my birthday, and it was so fantastic. And we said we would meet. But Andre Mack is like an icon in the African American community, wine community. OPP, other people's Pinot, other people's Pinot Gris. He has the knock on wood, horseshoes and hand grenades. I mean, he is like everything. And so I think that last clip was from one of my friends who has a wine shop here in Georgia.
Right? Oh, it was?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, so Andre Mack is like the coolest guy and a great. He just pushes the envelope, and I love it. And it shows in his wines. I mean, his wines are just fantastic. We've been carrying them for a very long time, and people absolutely love them.
well, and what's not to love? I mean,
Yeah.
there's such a dynamic charisma about Andre Mack that's just irresistible. I mean, you know, he just has that sort of, I don't know, trendsetter.
What is it called? Je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, je ne sais quoi. He's got that. Yeah, yeah. Love it. I love it.
And our buddy Phil.
Yeah, Phil Long. So you want to tell us about him?
Yeah. So Phil Long is currently the president of the African American Winemakers Association, or you know, lack of a better term, Association of American Vintners. And so he has created some amazing wines. We carry two of his wines in our shop, the Chardonnay, the Longevity Chardonnay, and then the Longevity Cabernet Sauvignon. But Phil has quite a story because he and his wife started the the vineyard, and so if you can see on the bottle, there's a heart, which is very close to he and his wife's story. He actually has a sleeve that he has tattooed on his arm, which is paying homage to her as they built this winery. It is a fantastic winery. One of the best Chardonnays I've tasted. If you like a great balance of oak and butter, he it's not overly oaked. It's just a very good balance of Golden Delicious and Green Apple. Granny Smith. So if you can think about the two, you know, very different, but it kind of collides in this Chardonnay. And people,
Jolly Rancher in a bottle.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And Phil actually did a wine tasting with us during the pandemic. He's been on so many.
CNN. You were saying you were seeing him all over CNN.
Yeah, CNN, CNNBC, Oprah. I mean, and he has really blossomed as a winemaker and has definitely, you know, put his footprint in winemaking. And people have a huge respect for Phil just because he has definitely permeated a space that was not, you know, open to many people of color. And he's done a fantastic job with the wines that he's producing. And I remember him saying that his son kind of works in the vineyard, and so it's a family business. So if you can think about what it would have taken for him to get where he is, it is an amazing story. And so Phil is you know, as far as I'm concerned, long lasting friend at Courts and Cuvée. He is, you know, we are so proud of him, and we just love the wines that he is producing.
Well, and in the interview that we are going to share on Wine Sisters of the Vine, he sounds like he's proud of you too, Regina. And I just think that interview that you had with him is really fascinating, and we want to invite everybody to go see that on Wine Sisters.
Yeah, I mean, he was such a, you know, when I was a little bit intimidated, and I meet a lot of winemakers, but I was a bit intimidated by Phil. But you know, after, you know, actually having a conversation with him, he was just so like authentic and real. And so I am so thankful that he agreed to meet with Courts and Cuvée, and he was fantastic. Our clientele just blew up. His wines have been selling off our shelves, and everybody absolutely loves them.
That is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And I want to encourage everybody to go see it at Wine Sisters, cheersforchange.com, the interview with Phil, and another trailblazer.
Yeah.
I just
total trailblazer.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to go to another trailblazer here, Mr. Jared Fleet. He is the assistant winemaker for Rocco Winery. And Rocco was founded by Mr. Rollin Souls. And here's a picture of Jared right here.
Hey, Jared.
right? He's from Kentucky. He's a Southern boy over there by you, Regina.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of Kentucky going on there,
A
and
little bit of Kentucky.
a little bit of Kentucky. So just the short backstory about Rocco. It was founded by Rollin Souls and his wife, Corby Stonebreaker Souls. And Rollin rose to fame with his founding of Argyle Winery, Oregon's first sparkling winery, technically first bonded sparkling winery. Um, and Corby as well was related to Panther Creek and was formerly married to Ken Wright. So Rocco itself is a product of both Rollin and Corby, and they've developed some really outstanding Pinot Noirs and many other Chardonnay, Rosé, and also sparkling wine and magnums. They're producing it all in their estate vineyard here in the Dundee Hills, and the one that we're tasting today is this one right here, the Stock.
Oh,
Yeah, this is actually a wood block, and the name refers to Rollin's time in Australia, where they call the grape the grape stem stalks, right?
okay.
And it features Rollin being stalked by our logo, the Thunderbird. It was
Funny.
designed by Corby, and she carved it into a wood block before it was printed. So this is a wood block print.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic.
So, um, and Jared, the assistant winemaker, was part of this whole wonderful process. He's part of the team at Rocco, and yeah, there he is right there. So he came from Kentucky, I guess quite a few years ago, in 2002. So he's been here for almost 20 years, which is quite impressive. And he helped establish the Argyle brand and worked at Argyle. And now he is the official assistant winemaker at Rocco. So
That's fantastic.
we're happy to have him. And the wine is fabulous.
Cheers.
So with that being said, we are coming to a conclusion of our Black-owned brands in the
And
wine.
so there are a couple of more, we didn't quite feature, but I will just
Let's go look at them.
mention. So the McBride sisters, they were sisters who didn't know each other until they were adults. Had the same father, different mothers. They grew up differently. And they have the whole McBride Sisters collection. They have Black Girl Magic collection of wines.
Right.
And so we carry those in our shop as well. Lafitte du Rosé, which is Danae Thurston, he is putting out that fantastic rosé that is so beautiful from the south of France, and it's beautiful provincial rosé. We love them. And Flo, which is For the Love of Marcus Johnson, who was an attorney. So he has a law degree, wanted to make wines, and wanted to be a jazz musician. So he's done all of that. So he's been a lawyer. He's been a behind the brand of a wine. And he also is a jazz musician. I actually had the opportunity to see him play. He and his band here in Atlanta. It was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we definitely want to celebrate all of these amazing trailblazers, because obviously this is an industry that not a lot of people know that we do have Black-owned brands and Black vineyards and people who are making wine who are African American. I mean, we have to celebrate that. So I'm so excited. We pretty much carry every brand that I know of in our shop. And so I am very happy to celebrate these people who are pioneers in this industry.
And that's why we're here, because we are basically diversity discussions. That's what we're about, plus wine. So
Plus one. Plus
yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, we are here to elevate those brands and
Mhm.
celebrate the fact that their trailblazing is a milestone, and we're revisiting and re-envisioning what it is going to be for all of us in the wine industry going forward, now that we are celebrating inclusivity and diversity.
Yeah, exactly. And so it looks like the thread of America is all races, it's all everybody, it's a melting pot. And so
That's right.
when we can bring out, because, I can remember when I was first in the wine industry, I was lost because I didn't see any, it was very few women, it was just, but now it's kind of turning that corner. And so I love to see that. And as much as we can celebrate these amazing trailblazers, we will continue to do so.
Right. And in ending, as much as we can celebrate the fact that there are relationships like ours where we are sisters of
Yeah.
wine and celebrate the fact that we all are elevating each other and
Mhm.
supporting each other regardless of our skin color or our
That
gender.
becomes so incidental. Like that's
Right,
a
right.
mm,
Yeah. I mean, so Wine Sisters, cheers to change.
serious.
Episode 2. I will see you in episode 3, my wine sister. Love
Yes,
you,
I'm ready
sister.
for it. We got some major big things coming up for this season. We're so excited.
And yes, and we're also ready to get out of the house and taste some wine.
Oh my gosh, can we talk about that?
Right. And we're going to be there. Yes, vaccinated. Wine Sisters is going on the road.
Ready to go.
We're going on the road.
On the road, on the road again.
Woohoo! We're going.
Yes,
All right, my sister.
love you.
Love you too. See you
Have
soon.
a great night.
You too.